Hi, I'm Erik Linask. I'm here in Austin, Texas. We're here on the morning of the second day of IT Expo West 2011. And I'm happy to have on our program this morning Michael Curry from ConeXion One. Michael, good morning. Thanks for joining me.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So ConeXion One, tell me a little bit about who you are, what you do.
Well, ConeXion One is a premier Spanish language contact center service. So we provide customer service in Spanish to the USA Hispanic population in Spanish, and also through other parts of Latin America. So from customer service, level 1 tech support, any of the normal type of outsourced services, available out there.
Basically a Spanish-speaking version of your traditional contact center? Or do something
Absolutely,
different?
absolutely. The unique approach we take is, since we're down, we operate 3,100 seats in Mexico City, is that primarily the USA Hispanic population is about 67% of Mexican descent. And in that community, the dialect is extremely important. I mean, it's like comparing, you wouldn't have somebody typically answer your calls out of Atlanta, for a New York customer, or vice versa. It's not the accent, it's more or less the structure and how certain things are done. So with our Spanish language services, it more fits the USA Hispanic population. Therefore, we run a higher than average, success rate out there within that community.
So it's an interesting point. So how important is the dialect aspect when it comes to Spanish language?
Dialect is number one. Again, back to that concept. If you say in Atlanta you hired somebody out of New York, people would automatically think it would be the accent, but actually it's the attitude. In New York, it's get down to business. I want to talk and hang up and goodbye. And Atlanta is pretty much good morning, how are the kids, everything else. It's more of a southern type of a charm, as we say. The Spanish language on the Mexican descent side is a lot like the Southern English. And so there's certain word structures and things that have to happen in a conversation, or that conversation is not going to happen. So we look at dialect as probably being the number one thing to look at when doing Spanish language services.
Interesting. What kinds of companies come to you for services?
Well, we have everybody. We're General Motors, largest provider, Spanish language tech support services worldwide. Best Buy, Radio Shack, Assurant, and the list goes on.
So certainly difficult economic times of late, for sure. How's business for ConeXion One?
Business is going well. You take a look at any sector, including housing. In the United States, the only growth out there is within the Hispanic community, and it's a bilingual community. The thing to remember on Spanish language, our services aren't just targeted towards only Spanish. Most folks that call in are completely bilingual. They just want a familiar voice,
sure,
and someone familiar on the phone. And in a lot of instances, and I do the same. If I call into customer service and it says a 10-minute wait hold, I'll pick up the phone, call back in, and hit 2 for Spanish, and typically that phone is answered immediately.
Are there others doing similar things in the space?
There is others. Every call center, throughout the Philippines and all of Latin America, obviously, offers it. Our approach is that we manufacture our own product that actually connects to the system. So we're a Microsoft ISV. We have all the security measures, everything else. We're headquartered here in the United States, and so we understand the market. So we feel we do a better job than most. And the whole intent we have here is we're not taking jobs out of the U.S. In fact, recent reports have showed that if you put one person in a call center in Mexico City, you're actually reducing immigration by 2 to 4. It's unique because it's typically not our people that would cross the border, but it's the infrastructure they support. And so I'm a big advocate. If you're going to put an outsourced seat, put it in the neighbors. Put it down in Mexico. If you put it in the Philippines or put it in India, anywhere else, you're not affecting anything. So it does make absolute sense.
Are you seeing American company bring their offshore business to you?
Yes, quite a bit. Quite a bit of offshore business is coming back, from India and the Philippines. Because of the growth in the Hispanic community and the Spanish language. Probably during the last 2 years, outsourcing has dropped about 10%, and the Spanish language has grown by 20%. And so we're seeing a lot of it coming back on shore, and then they take a look at us to handle their Spanish language needs.
For your contact centers, do you have everybody in-house, or do you one of the biggest trends of late certainly is the growing use of home agents. Do you do anything with home agents?
No, unfortunately, the infrastructure just not there in Mexico to do the home agent. We operate two primary centers. We have one at a close to the airport of Mexico City, so it sits right inside of a transportation hub. So most of the folks, they obviously don't, own a lot of their own transportation, so we can get them in and out of the center efficiently. We also run a redundant center 45 miles west in Toluca, and that's our redundant center. Just in case something happens to our infrastructure, we can, bus our personnel over there.
Excellent.
So nobody's sitting in the house in Mexico.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. Maybe shortly. Yeah.
Excellent, Michael. Well, good luck. Congratulations on your successes to date, and thank you for joining me.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thanks.